Hi, my name is Ryan Wolfe, and welcome to this wonderfully made session called Easy to Use Online Curriculum for Disability Ministry. You see, no one can argue the fact that our world has completely changed. I mean, it's evidenced by the fact that we're meeting during this conference virtually rather than in person this year. Churches have shut down, schools have shut down, communities have shut down. Now, there have been some states that have been reopening. There have been churches that have reopened, but there are still some states that have yet to reopen, especially when it comes to schools and churches. For those states that have reopened and churches are meeting in person, one of the things, though, that we've seen is that there are still quite a few people from the disability community that have yet to rejoin meeting in person. There are various reasons for this. Some is just caution, others because of just different compromised immune systems, different things, and a whole sort of reasons. But because of those reasons, we know that meeting online is such a vital thing. You see, during the shutdown, it was the fact that the disability community, maybe for the first time, felt like they were truly included because they were a part of the church. And what I want to hope is that churches won't stop meeting in person and online in the near future. So whether you're opening back up and you're starting to meet in person again, my encouragement is that you continue to do online ministry because of the disability community being probably one of the last communities that will join on in the in-person meeting world. So you're going to need to have online materials. And because you as a ministry leader are having to manage even more than you've ever managed before, it's going to be important for you to be able to find easy to use curriculum to use for your online meetings, because you're not going to be able to create everything and keep up with everything. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about easy to use curriculum. I'm going to preview quite a bit of our own and talk about some things that make curriculum easy to use online. So I'm excited to do that. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ryan Wolfe. I am the president at Ability Ministry, and we love creating content for churches to use. We love equipping churches to be able to reach their disability community for Christ. That's why we exist. I want to give you my contact information so you can get a hold of me at any time. My email is Ryan, R-Y-A-N, at abilityministry.com. You can find me on social media at Ryan E. Wolfe, and there is an E on the end of Wolfe. Let me give you my cell phone. Most people won't hand out their cell phone, but I want to be accessible to you. You can text me at any time, and I'll be happy to get back to you. My cell phone, area code 330-806-9420 is my cell phone. You can always reach us at abilityministry.com. That's our website, and on social media pages at Ability Ministry. So now you know how to get a hold of me if you ever need anything or if you have questions about using our curriculum or anything that we do. Before I get into our curriculum, I want to give you a discount code to encourage you to give our curriculum a try if you haven't already downloaded some of our curriculum in the past. So anybody that's viewing this session that wants to purchase our curriculum at a 20% off rate, the discount code is Wonderfully Made 2020. Wonderfully Made 2020. This will give you 20% off any curriculum purchase you make for this next year. So feel free to check us out. Use this to save yourself a little bit of money as you buy some easy to use curriculum. Let me tell you just a brief overview of the 4 different series that are available already on our website. The first online series that we created was a series called Be the Church. Okay, one of the things that we realized very quickly during lockdown was you don't have to physically go to church to be the church. So we wanted to help people have an understanding of the fact that church has less to do with going to a building and more to do about who you are in Jesus and who Jesus has called you to be as a body of believers. So this series is a great series to help people understand what the church is really all about, and also to get people engaged in actively blessing their community and being the church. Okay, so that Be the Church was the first online video-driven series that we created. We followed that up with a second series called Be Healthy. The reason we went to this direction next after Be the Church was we recognized as we were getting into this lockdown season that a lot of us were gaining this lockdown, this COVID weight because we weren't getting out. We were stuck in our homes. We were, eating comfort food all the time, maybe stress eating. I know I was doing a little bit of that as well. So we recognized the fact that people needed to be able to focus on being healthy. And we all know that being healthy has so much more to do than just our physical health, though that is one of our components that we talked about in this series. We tried to look at the entire person because you can't ignore one area of your life and try to take care of the other ones and pretend to be healthy. So we looked at our spiritual health, our mental health, our physical health. We looked at relational things. We looked at a lot of different areas in our lives. And this whole series is created on helping people be healthy, because you can't love the Lord your God with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength unless you are fully healthy in all four of those areas of your life. So it's a great series. The third series, the third video-driven series that we created is called Be Strong, okay? Again, as we got further along in this period of lockdown, we understood that there are a lot of challenges that we face. Isolation is crushing. And unless we are strong, unless we are brave and courageous, we could easily be crushed by isolation. The Be Strong series takes a look at the life and journey of Joshua from the Old Testament, and how he had to be strong, how he had to be brave and courageous, and how God helped him every step of the way, and how we can follow in some of those footsteps and be strong and brave and courageous. So that was the third series that we did. The fourth series that we did, again, as we continue through this period of isolation and lockdown, as we turn on the news, as we're horrified by the terrible things that we see on TV, the hatred, the violence that we continue to see on the TV, we realize that the world needs kindness. The world can never have enough kindness. So the fourth series that we created is called Be Kind. And this is the fourth video-driven online series that we created. We had help from our friend Bronwyn Murphy, who did an awesome job teaching those lessons and helping us write the leader guide for that series. So the Be Kind series helps us to live out kindness in some of the same ways that Jesus himself did. We look at 4 stories of Jesus and how he showed kindness to some unlikely recipients of kindness throughout the New Testament. Great series. So those are the 4 that we created. We're actually currently producing, as I'm recording this video, we're currently producing the next series that will be an online video-driven series. It's going to be called The Gospel in Colors. And maybe by the time you're watching this and the Wonderfully Made conference is going on, we'll have that series wrapped up and online. So we're continually creating online video-driven material for people to use. It's super easy to use, and you're going to see that as we go along in this session today. So just want to remind you again that 20% off code is Wonderfully Made 2020. Be good for the next year for you to get 20% off in our store on any curriculum purchase that you make. So let's talk just briefly about what makes our curriculum easy to use. Okay. One thing that when I'm creating curriculum, whether it's online video-driven curriculum or whether it is more traditional in classroom type of curriculum that we've made in the past, one of the things that I key myself on is making it easy to facilitate. All right. I want to be very careful that I distinguish the difference between teaching and facilitating. All right. The reason that I do this is because I was in your seat not very long ago. I spent a lot of time as a children's pastor in my ministry career. When I transitioned out of children's ministry, I became a full-time disability ministry pastor. In both environments, obviously, I lived the world that you lived in. Had to recruit volunteers all the time. All right. And it was always difficult when I'd say, hey, would you be willing to teach, right? The word teach is an intimidating word. People don't feel like they can teach because they never feel like they know enough. All right. And now we know, obviously, the best way to learn information is to teach it because it forces you to really dig into it. But people are maxed out. They don't feel like they have enough time to commit to studying something, to teach something. So whenever inevitably you go to recruit a volunteer and say, hey, I need you to teach a class in children's ministry or just special needs ministry or disability ministry, people clam up instantly. There are very few people that are confident speaking in front of groups of people, no matter what the age or ability. And there are even fewer people that really feel like they're passionate about teaching. Those people that have the spiritual gift of being a teacher, presenter, preacher, if they've got that spiritual gift, they know it and they'll embrace that fact. But there's so many people that don't, that still can be effective in leading in front of a group of people. That's why we never encourage you to go out and try to recruit people to volunteer and tell them, hey, will you come and teach? Don't use the word teach. Use the word facilitate, okay? We create our curriculum. It's easy to use because you don't have to teach it, all right? The lessons are laid out for you. All right, the questions are created for you. The videos are done for you. So literally, you just need to have someone who's willing to facilitate it if that person is not you. Okay, so basically, you're looking for someone that can press play on a video and can read discussion questions, right? Because that's essentially what it comes down to. Anybody that can carry a conversation can facilitate a lesson, right? In this type of curriculum, this easy to use video-driven online curriculum, basically all you got to be able to do is get in, play the video, and then ask the discussion questions and follow up with people. So it's more about just having a conversation with people than it is taking on the ownership of studying, researching, coming up with your own lesson, videoing yourself, and doing all that stuff online. Too intimidating for most people, so don't even go there. We encourage you to tell people, hey, would you be willing to facilitate a lesson for us? The lesson's already done. It's already created. It's on video. Could you play the video and then facilitate some discussion questions amongst people? And I think if you approach things that way, it'll be a lot easier for you to recruit people to help lead some of these lessons for your ministry. Again, if that person is not going to be you. So we really hope that as you walk through this session with me, you'll see how easy it is to facilitate or lead one of our easy video-driven online lessons from the curriculum series that we have created. So let's check out some more when it comes to being prepared by using a schedule. All right, let me talk to you for just a few minutes about the differences between leading an online lesson or gathering versus an in-person gathering or lesson for your groups, okay? If you want to be successful, you will make both feel as similar as you possibly can be, okay? All right, now I know one is in person, it's in the church, most likely, or in someone's home in a group session format versus being online when everybody else is, watching through the screen. It seems drastically different. Environments, yes, are drastically different, but there is something that is under your control that can make it feel more similar. You do it by this. It's by scheduling everything as if you would if you were in person. If you've had a group, a pre-existing group that's been meeting for a while, that's no longer meeting in person, you've moved your meetings online, my encouragement for you is to keep your schedule as identical as possible. It might be that your group would begin by maybe singing together. If you were in person, maybe you would sing together, then maybe you would have a lesson, and then you'd have discussion. If that's kind of the flow, I would encourage you to continue with that same schedule. All right. If you're the type of group that just kind of hangs out for 15, 20 minutes before you try to kind of corral everybody in for a lesson, make sure you do that online. Make sure people have time to hang out, all right, together online before you start your lesson. Or maybe you're the type of group that is very hands-on and you have an activity that gets people focused. Start your online gathering with an activity. You'll have more success if you can mirror your online meetings as much to feel the same as your in-person meetings as possible. So that's my encouragement for you. Make sure your schedule online mirrors as much as you can your in-person meetings if you already had been meeting in person. If this is completely brand new to you, that's okay. If that's the case for you, I want to walk through with you what we've created that we feel like is an effective format for online meetings. We have created a sample schedule for you to follow. It's easy to follow along, and our curriculum is created to be used in this format. It doesn't mean if you do it a different way that you're wrong or it won't work. It's just kind of how it was created with the thought in mind that meeting online is new for most people. So this is a format that can work for many people. So it's broken down to basically in a 1 hour segment, okay? You guys can go longer or shorter. It all depends upon your group and how best fits your group. So as we break things down into an hour-long segment, what we feel like is important is to spend the first 10 minutes doing some type of greeting, socialization, have it be very loose. As you understand, some people will be trickling in. Not everybody's going to be there right on time, just like when you meet in person, right? Some of this unscheduled relationship time where you give people an opportunity to just hang out can be some of the most productive ministry time possible. Now, when you're meeting online, it's going to feel very awkward. It's going to feel chaotic. It's going to feel like there are just people going 10,000 different directions talking over each other. Actually, that may not feel any different than it does when you're in person, but it feels even worse online if you're like in a Zoom type setting where you've got, the Brady Bunch screen in front of you where there's people all over the place and different people are talking to different people and talking over each other, and some people are using the chat function. It can feel chaotic, but I want to encourage you, take a deep breath, embrace the chaos. Allow people that time to socialize with each other and just talk with each other. For many people during this lockdown type of existence where we're living in isolation, we're meeting online, this may be the only 5-10 minutes that your friends in your group having a chance to see each other and talk to each other. So these 10 minutes, though unstructured and chaotic sometimes feeling, may be the 10 minutes that people look forward to the most, where they get to talk with each other and do that. So we encourage you just 10 minutes, just let people interact with each other. You interact with your group, check in with them, just talk with them, see how everyone's doing. This is a great time to check in. So for the first 10 minutes, we encourage you to give a greeting and just allow socialization. You can have guided questions if you want, if people are struggling to engage. My guess is people will not struggle to engage because they'll be excited to see each other. So that's the first 10 minutes. The next 10 minutes, the way our curriculum is designed and what we suggest is that you as a group either work your way through an online game or have yourself a fun introduction question, okay? These questions that are in our curriculum or these guided games that you can do as a group are a great way to lead in to the lesson or the main points of the day. These would be kind of your icebreaker type of activities that you were doing if you were doing it in person. Right? You might have an icebreaker activity or a game or a question that would lead into your lesson. So our recommendation is to allow for 10 minutes for that as well. So now you're 20 minutes into your lesson. It might be that this game doesn't have anything to do with your lesson, and that's okay too. Sometimes the objective of having fun is important enough, even if it doesn't tie into your lesson, because if people are having fun online, they'll continue to engage with you online. If people are online with you not having fun, doesn't matter what you have to say, they're not coming back. So the element of fun is worth it in and of itself. So the first 10 minutes, you're talking about socialization, just kind of the open time. The next 10 minutes, we encourage a fun question that leads into your topic of the day, or a game that kind of gets the juices flowing, get people having fun. And again, these things are provided for you in the curriculum package. We'll get into that more in just a second. The next 5 to 10 minutes on your schedule, we encourage you to play the video lesson for the day. Okay, each one of our series has 4, sometimes 5 or 6 different lessons in it. In each one of the lessons, we have purposely kept in that 5 to actually 8 to 9 minute time frame. We've never gone 10 minutes on a single lesson because we understand that attention spans are pretty tough, right? You know, you have a certain attention span, I think, when you're in person and you're able to engage and interact. But when you're moving to this video portion and there's no interaction other than someone watching, it's easy. And I know we're all kind of guilty of this, and maybe you're doing this right now in this video session. This session's been going on for several minutes now. You're tired, you're getting up, you're walking around, you're going to the bathroom, getting a snack, checking your emails, doing your laundry, you're doing a lot of different things. So we recognize that the video portion needed to be short and to the point, right? You shouldn't have to take a long time to be able to make your point. So each one of these videos, no more than 5 to about 8 to 9 minutes, where we tell the Bible story for the day. And not only do we tell the Bible story, we show pictures that will help keep people engaged, and we share scriptures as well. So that's 5 to 10 minutes. And so that's taking you almost 30 minutes into your online meeting. Now, the next 15 minutes, this is the longest portion that we suggest that you spend talking and meeting online. The next 15 minutes is for group discussion. Now, again, you don't have to worry about coming up with group discussion questions. In our curriculum leader guide, we provide for you those group discussion questions that are directly tied to the video that you just watched. All right, so you want to go through each and every one of those group discussion questions. If there are some questions that you think maybe aren't good questions for your group, you can eliminate those. That's okay. If you want to add to those questions, consider what we have provided for you just a starting point. You can always add to it, you can subtract from it, or you can just use it as it is presented. But work your way through the group discussion questions. Here is my tip for you as you're going through the group discussion questions. Be okay when your group says nothing. As a leader, as someone who's facilitating or up front, silence sometimes is difficult to navigate. All right, but people might be silent because they're thinking about the question you asked. People might be silent because they're confused, and you want to allow people time to process. And what you don't want to do is, just because someone doesn't answer, just to give the answer and move on quickly. That's why we provided 15 minutes for this portion, or at least suggested portion of your schedule of your online meeting. So again, use the questions that are provided, help your group understand the lesson that they just saw and react to it, and share with you what it means to them. What is God speaking into their hearts? This is where you get to see see how the Holy Spirit is interacting with them. And you get to be a part of that experience, which is really cool. So that's taken you about 45 minutes into your online meeting. If you're following our sample schedule, the next 10 minutes that we provide for as far as our sample schedule goes is to go to what we're calling activity discussion. All right, so you've done your group discussion questions based on the lesson you've just learned. Now the activity discussion, we'll take a look at whatever the main activity or activities of the given series are. Each one of the series has a different set of group activities, because one of the things that we understand about learning and retention and having a message come to life is the fact that when you hear something, you retain a little bit of it. When you see something and hear something, you retain even more of it. When you have a chance to live out what you're learning and put it into practice, your retention level skyrockets, okay? So every one of our series comes with some practical application things that your group can do between your online meetings, all right? These aren't meant to be done live as a group. These are meant to be done as essentially homework assignments that they can do between meetings. So if you're meeting on a Wednesday night, these are meant to be done Thursday through Tuesday, all right? And the people are coming back to report back to the group how they've done on their activities. I'll tell you a little bit about those activities in just a second as we'll show you some examples. But that next 10 minutes is meant to be activity discussion. What has your group accomplished in the prior week? Or what are you preparing your group to accomplish in the next week based on the activities that we have provided for you in this curriculum? And the last 5-minute section of your online meeting, we want to carve out for prayer time, okay? Prayer is such an important thing. And some people feel funny about praying in front of others, and some people may even feel more funny about praying into their computer as you're meeting through a screen with other people. But we really think it's important that you make time for prayer. All right, you're inviting God into the experience. He's already there, but you are entering into His presence as you guys pray together. Take prayer requests, pray for each other, and it might be that your group wants to spend more than 5 minutes in prayer together. It might be that ends up being your largest section, and that's okay. But we want to make sure that you save at least 5 minutes towards the end of your time together in prayer as you pray over your group and get ready to send them out into their next week until you meet again. So this is our sample schedule. I'll go over it again real quickly with you. The first 10 minutes, we recommend that you do a greeting and just allow people to socialize. The next 10 minutes, we recommend that you have a fun question or some type of group game or activity that can kind of get the juices flowing and get you started thinking about whatever the main topic is going to be. The next 5 to 10 minutes is when you play the Ability Ministry video lesson for the day. Then you have 15 minutes of group discussion, and you walk your way through the group discussion questions that are provided. The next 10 minutes after that, we recommend that you do some discussion based on the activities that your group is working on that we have provided again as a part of the curriculum package. And I'll preview some more of those in just a second, I promise. And then the last 5 minutes, we encourage you to pray together. So that is a quick look at a sample schedule for meeting online together using our curriculum. Now, next, I am going to preview several different components of our easy to use curriculum, some of the ones that I have just mentioned here. So I'll be excited to share that with you here in just a second. All right, let's talk about some of the things that you will find in each and every one of the series that you purchase or download from us as you seek to do online ministry. All right, each one of our series will come with a leader guide. It's important for you as the leader to be prepared for this series, or it's important to get this leader guide into the hands of whoever is going to be helping you facilitate these online lessons. So the leader guide will give you an introduction into the series that you're about to teach. In addition to the introduction, it'll talk to you about the main Bible verse for the series. Each one of our series has a Bible verse that is intended to be memorized by every single person in your group. Now, I know memorization might sound like intimidating to you. You may not feel like you're prepared to be able to do that or help people memorize scripture. It's okay. Take a deep breath. In each one of the series, we provide for you sign language videos that you can just play for your group, and we will teach everyone in your group how to memorize the scripture using sign language. So it's a great way to be prepared for that, as you'll know exactly what the verse is and why the verse is important for the series. This leader guide will also give you those fun questions or activities to do before your group gets into the weekly videos. All right, so you don't have to come up with those. I know it's intimidating for some people to think of games and different things. So we give you some ideas of things that you can do. Then each of the week's videos, the lessons that we give you, we also give you a short kind of breakdown of the Bible story and things that you should think about as a leader, because obviously we'll be teaching it on video, but you'll want some kind of inside knowledge as to why we're teaching the lesson and some important facts from the Bible lesson. So we'll give those to you. We'll also, in the leader guide, give you the weekly group discussion questions. So you don't have to come up with those on your own. You can literally just read them to your group as you go, which makes it really easy just to have a conversation with your group. The leader guide will also give you the activity discussion. So it'll help you understand what the activity is for the series, because each series activity is a little bit different. So it'll walk you through instructions on how to best facilitate those activities with your group, because again, these are things that your people will be doing in between the sessions. These are the things that people will be doing to make the lesson come to life so they can live it out in their lives. So what you're going to want to do when you're meeting online is discuss how that is happening for the people in your group. So those are some of the things that you'll see in the leader guide that is in every series. In addition to the leader guide, you're going to get some social media resources, okay? Since this is an online thing and you're meeting online, we need to give you important tools to help you be effective getting the word out to people online, right? Because you may have a lot of people's connections, whether it be through Facebook or email, but you may not have everybody's. And you might find that these online video-driven series are a great way to reach out to people that aren't a part of your ministry. So we give you some social media things that you can use. Specifically, we give you graphics for every series. Every series has a main graphic, and we size those specifically for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All right, so they're specifically sized for each platform. They're easy for you to use on your church's website and social media pages. We also encourage you to use them on your personal pages because there might be people that aren't connected to your church that are connected to you online, and you may be able to reach out and again grow your ministry through meeting online. So we give you the graphics to use. In addition to the graphics, in some series we'll give you a short kind of teaser video, and we're going to preview one of those here in just a second. The teaser that we're going to show you here was for the Be Healthy series, and this teaser shows you the weekly chart. We've created a weekly chart to help people stay healthy, stay on track on a Monday through Saturday or Monday through Sunday basis, where they can check things off. So rather than me talk about it, let me show you now the teaser video that you can use on social media as you try to promote the series for the Be Healthy series. So take a look and enjoy one of the things that you will get in the Be Healthy series. right, so that was some of the social media stuff that you'll get within every single series that you download from us. In addition to the social media stuff, the leader guide, you're also going to get some printables. All right, and I'm going to show you a few of those as I talk through that now. Some of the series, not all the series, but some of the series are going to come with coloring pages. So the coloring page I'm going to show you right now is from the Be Strong series. We understand that, even though we're adults or we're young adults or we're teens, doesn't mean we don't like to color. All right, some adults don't. They think it's like a kid activity, but let's admit it. There's a reason why adult coloring books are a thing. So in some of our series, we have created things like a coloring page. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, how do you use a coloring page when we're doing online meetings? All right. These are additional resources that we want you to print off and we want you to drop off in the homes of every one of your individuals before the series starts, right? This is something to get them excited about the series. This is something to give them something to do, right? If you're locked down, if you're not going to work or you're not going to church, you're looking for things to do. So if you print some of these things off, you can encourage people, hey, color in this picture, then take a picture of it and post it online. It's a great way for you to encourage engagement online. So we want to give you some tools to be able to do that. And the coloring page is a great thing to do. So the Be Strong coloring page is something that you can use. You can print off and mail to your people before the series starts, or you can drop off, on their doorstep and just say, hey, because I think sometimes we just need an excuse to get out of our office and to take something to the people that we are missing seeing in person. So a printable that you'll get in some of the series, like I said, is a coloring page. Another printable that you will get that is a part of every single series is a printable that features the memory verse for the series. Okay, so the one that I'm showing you here is a printable for the memory verse for the Be Healthy series. It's love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. Mark 12:30. Now this printable is important. This memory verse printable is important because you want people to be practicing memorizing this scripture for the entire length of the series. So again, you want to either mail these out or you want to print them and drop them off to your people or save it as a PDF and email it. There's so many different ways that you can get this into the hands of your people. We encourage you to try all of those ways to make sure that it gets to them. Print it in color if you can. We've created them in color so they pop a little bit. Encourage people to put it on maybe their refrigerator or somewhere where they will see it on a daily basis. So they're reminded of that scripture. Again, the memory verse will be taught in sign language in addition to that, but we want people to visually see it. And in a world where we're surrounded by negativity, what better thing to surround yourself with than surrounding yourself with God's word? So we encourage you to print off the memory verse for each one of the series. Another thing that you'll find in some of the newer online video-driven series that we've created, and we're probably going to go backwards and create these for some of the older ones, is a word search. Again, you're thinking to yourself, well, we're not doing these word searches online when we're together. Again, you're giving something to your folks that they can do in between these lessons that will help remind them of what they talked about. Each one of these word searches that you'll see, this one that I'm previewing for you right now is from the Be Kind series. So again, the lesson, there's 4 word searches in that series, one for each week. Each week's words are words from the lesson that are taught that you will be discussing that will help them remember some of those things when you're meeting online. So again, helping them to dig through the word search, finding God's word is an important and good thing. Each one of the series will also have activity pages that can be printed, okay? And these are important things that you'll use with your group. I'll talk a little bit more in detail about those in just a second as I talk about some of those activities because I also want to show you some videos on that too. So those are some of the printables that will be available to you in each one of our series. More in just a second. All right, let's talk about those activity pages. okay? Each series, like I said, has an activity where people can make their lesson that they've learned with you online come to life, where they get to practice what you have preached, right? They get to live it out in their lives. That's when the gospel comes alive. That's when we make a difference. That's when we can be the church. So each one of these series will have some type of activity page or activities that they can do. What you're going to see here in just a second are some examples of that, and I'm going to show that to you by video, because it's one thing for you maybe to try to explain some of these activities to your group, and it's a whole nother thing if you are able to show a video of how some of these things will work. So we already saw a social media teaser video about the Be Healthy chart, so I'm not going to show you that one again, but I do want to show you the actual chart. So we're going to show that picture to you right now. So the Be Healthy chart is something that you will use during the Be Healthy series. This is the same, you'll use the same chart 4 times, okay? So you're gonna send them, if you're printing these off and giving them to them, you're giving them 4 charts that they can fill out, 1 per week. And each one of the charts has several different columns where you will instruct people to put a check mark, whether or not they accomplish that on the given day. The thing that you want to challenge your group with, obviously, is to see how many check marks that they can get. As they go along, they should get more and more checks as they are getting more and more healthy. One of the things that we know that's really important when it comes to growing in Jesus is practicing things, and it takes time as we create new and healthy routines. So the Be Healthy chart is something that you'll do with your group. What you want to do when you're meeting online is have people hold up their charts for the week and report out to the group, hey, I got this many checks. And you know what? As a leader, your job to do is cheer for them no matter how many checks they got, because they tried, all right? And encourage them to do better each and every week. All right, so another activity, this one's from the Be Strong series. We created a game board, a bingo game board. So we call this Be Strong Bingo. And this is the activity for the Be Strong series. Each one of the squares in the bingo board, much like a number, are actually activities that you can do if you want to grow a strong faith. All right, so the idea is that each week people can do an activity and mark off that box. The objective, again, would be for everybody every week to get bingo, right? To get enough diagonally or across or up and down in the activities. So you can use one board for the entire series, and they can check that off, or they can do one a week. So we actually have a video explaining that, so I'll stop trying to explain it for you here and allow you to watch the Be Strong Bingo video now. As part of the Be Strong series, we've created a resource for you that will help your faith become more alive. Because we talked about in this series, being strong has less to do with our physical strength and more to do with having a strong faith. Because when we have a strong faith, we can be brave in difficult situations. So we have created this bingo game for your group to use. Either you use this every week or use this across the entire time that you're working on this series. But each one of the squares on this bingo card has a different activity that will help you grow your faith and become stronger in your faith. So we encourage you to print off this bingo card, to make it available, to post it online, have people put it on their fridge, keep it on a coffee table, a nightstand, and encourage them to at least mark off one activity every single day that you're working through this series. Try to get 5 in a row to see who can be the first to win this game of Be Strong Bingo. Again, your group leader will determine kind of how you'll play this game together, whether it's a weekly thing or it's across the entire series. But don't give up on this bingo game idea just when this series is over. This is something that you can continue doing to continue to grow your faith, because each one of these activities on the squares are great ways that you can be strong in your faith So keep that faith growing, keep it getting stronger, and it'll help you to be brave in the difficult situations of life that you will encounter. Enjoy your game of Be Strong Bingo. All right, so that was the Be Strong Bingo game, that activity for that series. The next thing I want to preview for you, and we have a video for this as well, so I won't over-explain it, is for the Be Kind series. For the Be Kind series, we created 4 different activity pages meant to be used 1 per week that are all based on random acts of kindness. So rather than me over-explaining that, I just want you to check out the video that you'll be sharing with your group if you decide to do the Be Kind series with us. One of the most important things that you can do is make sure that your faith is lived out. Faith is meant to be active. And that's why in the Be Kind series, we have created these activity sheets. There are going to be 4 different activity sheets, but all of them are going to work the same. And I want to tell you about that right now. You see, this activity sheet is just like the old-fashioned color by number coloring pages. Each one of these emoji faces is broken up into 16 different squares on a grid, and it is colored by number. Each of the numbers on the grid corresponds with a random act of kindness. So on each activity page, there are 16 different random acts of kindness. And here's how it works. Say you choose to do number 3. Number 3 on this list says, say 3 nice things to someone you know. How about that? Give somebody a compliment. 3 compliments to somebody you know. After you do that, you get to mark off the number 3 on your list and then find it on the grid and color it in. So you can take and you can color it in just like this. Now the objective, obviously, is to fill in the entire picture. And you can only do that as you're marking off the random acts of kindness on the page. So if you're able to do all 16, you'll be able to fill in the entire page, which will be great. When your picture is finally finished, we would encourage you to take a picture of your picture and tag your church's social media pages, tag your friends' social media pages, and don't forget to tag us at Ability Ministry. If you share any of your pictures with us, we promise you that we will not only give you a like, but we'll also give you a reshare as we celebrate the random acts of kindness that you are living out by completing these activity pages. It's so important to put your faith into action, and doing these weekly activity pages is a great way to do that. Enjoy the Be Kind series. We can't wait to see some of the pictures that you are coloring in. All right, so that is a good example so you can see some of the activities that we have for each of the given series. The next thing I want to preview for you and talk to you about are the memory verses. So I've mentioned that a few different times now, and I've told you that each series has a memory verse, and we want to challenge you to get your people to memorize it. This is something that you can easily do by sharing the sign language video. You can share that, again, you can share that during the week. You can do that as your activity that starts off your time together. You have a lot of different options to do this, but we would encourage you to do this multiple times with your group. Share with them the sign language video, post it online, and reshare it a couple times during the series so people can practice it. And then when you get back together, you guys can all practice doing the sign language together. You'll be surprised how easy it is to learn some of these signs. So the next video that I'm going to show to you is going to be from the Be Kind series, where you're going to learn basically 3 different signs for Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32. And now again, remember, you've got a printable that you're sending to people, so they're getting to see it, they're getting to read it. This verse will be reviewed several times in each one of the lessons, and you'll be posting this video online and resharing it several times. So take a look at the sign language video for the memory verse in the Be Kind series. Memorizing God's word is such an important thing for all of us to do and get in the habit of doing. I'm going to teach you Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32 in sign language. It's going to help you remember the memory verse for our Be Kind series. So Ephesians 4:32 goes like this: be kind and loving to each other. Okay, I'm only going to teach you the first half of the verse. There's another half of the verse, but we're going to focus in on that. And like I said, I'm going to teach it in sign language. So I'm going to break it down word by word, and then we'll put it all together. So the first word that we're going to learn in sign language is kind. And when you sign kind, you're just kind of tracing with your hands over like you're taking steps. Okay. The next word that we're going to learn in sign language is loving. All right, for loving, it's just giving yourself a hug. All right, this is a super simple sign to remember because it's like you're giving yourself a hug. All right, and then the last sign that we're going to learn for Ephesians 4:32 is the word each other. And instead of signing each other, we're actually going to sign the word everyone. Okay, for that one, you're going to put one thumbs up, and with your other thumb, you're going to kind of trace down and then point up with your pointer finger. So let's do that again. So 2 thumbs, you're going to trace down and then point up for everyone. All right. So Ephesians 4:32 goes like this: be kind and loving to each other. All right, remember, we're going to sign the word everyone for each other because it's a little bit easier. Let's try it one more time. Ephesians 4:32. Be kind and loving to each other. Ephesians 4:32. Keep practicing it. You'll do a great job in memorizing God's word. All right, now you've seen the sign language video. Now let me preview for you a video lesson. Like I said, these easy to use curriculum packages that you're getting are coming with the lessons on video for you already created. You don't have to film a video. You don't have to edit a video. You don't have to figure out what to say. We'll do it all for you. You essentially have to press play for that. Also, within your leader guides that you will get instructions on how to do that, because sometimes it's not as easy as just saying hit play. So we give you some step-by-step instructions on how to use our online videos and doing this via either Zoom or Facebook Live. So we give you a couple different options and give you some step-by-step instructions on how to do that. Like I said, every series is going to give you at least 4 different sets of lessons with 4 different videos, 1 video per week, that we have kept in that sweet spot of like 5 to 9 minutes, because we don't want to go too long and make people doze off. Hopefully you're not dozing off right now in this video. So what I want to do is I want to show you an entire video lesson so you can get a feel for what it would be like if you were to show one of these. So the video that you're going to see right now is from the Be Strong series. I believe it is lesson number 3 in the Be Strong series. It's about 7-8 minutes long, so you can take a look at what it would be like to show an entire lesson to your group. So let's take a look at the Be Strong series lesson number 3 now. Welcome to the third lesson in our series called Be Strong. Now, I don't know if there are any Star Trek fans out there, but the opening of the show Star Trek started by saying space, the final frontier, going where man has never gone before. Now, I was always more of a Star Wars guy than a Star Trek guy, but I love the intro and I love the idea of being on an adventure, going somewhere where you've never been before. Some people get excited about wandering into the unknown. Other people don't like not knowing what's next. And maybe you're one of those people that just aren't sure about new things and new experiences and going out into the unknown. Sometimes that can be overwhelming for people. And I'm sure that that was overwhelming for Joshua too. So we're going to take another look at Joshua as he leads the Israelites into the promised land this week. But let's think about some of the unknowns that we face, because each and every day presents us with situations where we are kind of navigating the unknown, and we're faced with decisions and we're not sure what things will happen next in our lives. You see, there's moments in our lives, not only just the little situation, but there's moments in our lives like moving to a new home. Maybe it's a new group home, maybe it's a new living situation, maybe it's moving out of mom and dad's home, and it's truly an unknown and you're not sure what's you're experiencing next. Maybe it's starting a new job. And there's so many unknowns when you start a new job that sometimes it can feel overwhelming. Maybe we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Maybe it's the loss of a loved one. Maybe someone that you love has passed away, and the world feels different for you. It truly feels like an unknown situation on how you are going to navigate these next few days and years of your life. Or it might be just getting out of being locked down. Maybe you've been isolated for a long time for any of a lot of different reasons, and you kind of forget what it was like to be out in the world again. So there's a lot of unknown situations, and sometimes it's easy to get overwhelmed by the unknown. But that's why we're going to talk this week about being strong when you face the unknown. Okay? Because you need to be strong and you need to be brave in these situations when you're facing an unknown, just like Joshua. You see, Joshua was going to lead the Israelites out of the wilderness where they had been stuck for 40 years and into the promised land, a place where most of them had never been before. Joshua and Caleb had been there before because Moses sent them out as spies 40 years earlier. But to everyone else, they had never been in the promised land. That was a great unknown for them. But I love what Joshua does. And this is super important for us and our ability to navigate the unknown and to be brave and strong. Is, you see, Joshua sends the priests first. The priests were carrying the Ark of the Covenant. And if you know anything about the Ark of the Covenant was like a really, really fancy box, covered in gold. And inside of the Ark of the Covenant, this is pretty crazy, inside the Ark of the Covenant was literally God. The presence of God on earth was inside the Ark of the Covenant. So here you have Joshua as they're getting ready to enter the promised land. He sends the priests first who are carrying God in a box, the Ark of the Covenant. So he's literally putting God first. And I love that picture. And as they're heading towards the promised land, what was separating them in the promised land was the Jordan River. And Joshua sends the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant to the Jordan River. And the Jordan River, if you've ever walked up to the edge of a river, obviously you can't just walk through a river unless it's really shallow. Well, the Jordan River wasn't really shallow, and there's no way they could have just crossed over because they didn't have a boat. So he instructs the priests who are carrying the Ark of the Covenant, which is the literal presence of God with them, to take one step into the Jordan River. And something miraculous happens. The moment they set their feet in the water, the Jordan River separates. and there's nothing but dry ground in front of them as the water's standing up on either side. And the Israelites are able to walk across the Jordan River because they put God first, literally. And as they are going across the Jordan River, Joshua instructs one person from each tribe to gather up a large stone from the middle of the Jordan River and to carry it across with them. And once the Israelites are all safe on the other side of the Jordan in the promised land for the first time that God had promised for them, the water goes back as the priests leave the area where the Jordan River was. And this is only possible because Joshua trusted God and put him first. All right, we see this as they take the Ark of the Covenant and the priests walk into the water first. He literally put God first. And if you're in a situation where you need to overcome the unknown, the best thing you can do is put God first and remember that he's always there with you. But that wasn't the only thing that Joshua did. And I think this is an important part to remember. You remember when I said Joshua instructed people to take a large stone from the middle of the Jordan River? As soon as they got to the other side safely, they piled up those 12 stones and they made a little monument to remember what God did. You see, Joshua stopped and he celebrated God. Whenever you have victories, whether they're large or small, it's always important to stop and take a moment and thank God. The Israelites celebrated God together, and they had this little monument, this little pile of stones, which the Bible tells us is still there today, to remind the Israelites of God's goodness and the fact that he will never leave them and he will never fail them if they put him first. So Deuteronomy 31:6, I'm going to read this for you again. We've read this each and every week. Be strong and be brave. Don't be afraid because of those people, because the Lord your God is with you. He will not fail you or leave you. And the fact that Joshua was able to navigate the unknown, the situation before him entering the promised land, something that they'd never done before, he was able to be strong and to be brave because he remembered the promise from God that God would always be with him and he would never leave him or fail him as long as he put God first. So when you find yourself in a tricky situation where you may feel overwhelmed by the unknown, no matter what that situation is, stop. Ask God to be with you and thank him for never failing you. Because just like he was with Joshua, he'll be with you too in those overwhelming situations. You too can be strong and brave. All right, now you've been able to get a sneak peek at our easy-to-use online curriculum for disability ministry. You've gotten to see a little bit of everything from all the 4 series that we currently have available. Again, we've got that 5th series that may be available by the time you're actually watching this that we're excited to get in your hands to help you be equipped for online disability ministry, because it's something that's probably not going away anytime soon. Again, we know that a lot of people in the disability community will probably be some of the last people to return to church. And even when they return to church, it's probably a good idea to continue doing online ministry because there will be some people that will never return. And if we don't reach out to them through an online platform, we're missing an opportunity to share the gospel with someone who desperately needs to hear it. You'll never probably fully know how effective you're being in growing the kingdom until one day when we all walk through the pearly gates. I'll be excited to hear that somebody might run up to me and say, hey, we never met in person, but you reached out and shared the gospel with me online. And I am here today because you did that. Online ministry is so important. Don't give up doing it just because you meet in person, because again, some people may not return. So I'm excited that we got a chance to share a lot of these different things with you. Again, I want to roll through and review a little bit. If you want to be effective in doing an online ministry, try to make it mirror your in-person gatherings as much as possible. People like continuity. So if you can mirror that, that's great. If you've never met in person, or if you just want to try something fresh and new, go with our sample schedule. Our sample schedule gives you a breakdown of things that you can do for an hour for each online meeting. And our online curriculum is designed for each one of those different components in your sample schedule, so that will help it be easy for you to facilitate and not necessarily have to teach. Again, facilitating is easier than teaching because you're just having a conversation with people, and you're helping to facilitate the discussion as you allow God and the Holy Spirit to move in your group. Our online video-driven curriculum, I shared with you a special discount code when we got started. I want to reshare that with you now. That's good on any of our curriculum, not just our online video-driven curriculum, but also some of our more traditional curriculum can be used with that as well. We also have children's ministry curriculum, and we have different curriculum packages and bundles that you can take advantage of to save some money. And if you use this code, you'll save even more money, especially if you're buying a bundle of curriculum. 20% off code that's good for the next calendar year is Wonderfully Made 2020. I'll say that again. Wonderfully Made 2020 will save you 20% on any curriculum purchase you make in this next calendar year. That will help you get started. We hope that you'll use some of our online video-driven curriculum, whether it be Strong, Be Healthy, Be the Church, or Be Kind, or our new series we're working on, The Gospel in Colors. I can't wait to talk more about that sometime soon. So that'll be good on any of those or any of our traditional curriculum. Wonderfully Made 2020 for 20% off. In addition to that, I want to give you more free stuff, right? Because you are some of the few that have gutted it out and stayed with us for this entire hour of this session. I know these sessions are long, so I wanted to save this towards the end. So it's special for you for making it through. If you would like a free Easter lesson, we've created a free Easter lesson, and it's available on our website. So if you go to abilityministry.com, you go to our store, or if you just search on our website and just type in the word Easter, you'll be able to find our Easter curriculum very easily. Another way you can find it is going to abilityministry.com/product/ Easter-lesson/. So I know it's a lot, but we'll show it to you here as a graphic as well, so you can see that, and you'll be able to grab that Easter lesson. This lesson comes with PowerPoint, comes with sign language video, comes with everything that you need to teach the Easter lesson, and it's all free. And it's another good way to preview our curriculum before you buy it. All right, the Easter lesson wasn't created as a video-driven online thing. It was more created for a traditional format, but can easily be adapted and used online. And the best part about it is it gives you an idea of how our curriculum works and functions. So I encourage you to download that for free as a thank you for watching this series and getting you equipped to reach your disability community for Christ. Again, I'll share with you my contact information. If you didn't catch it off the top, you can email me at any time, Ryan, R-Y-A-N, at abilityministry.com. You can find me on social media. I appreciate it if you follow me on social media at Ryan E. Wolfe. Is most of my social media pages. I'd love to interact with you online, as we're always sharing some good content when it comes to disability ministry. My cell phone, if you have questions about the curriculum or any other consulting questions, we do consultation for free. And I'm always accessible. My cell phone, 330-806-9420. I'm on Eastern time zone. So if you're West Coast and you're texting me late, I probably won't get back to you to the next day, but I promise I'll always get back to you. You can find us at abilityministry.com and on our social media pages at Ability Ministry. So it's always easy to find us. Again, thank you for tuning in to this session called Easy to Use Online disability ministry curriculum. We hope that some of the things that you've seen have encouraged you to maybe feel like you can give it a try. We've given you every tool that you will ever need to be successful in online ministry, and we're always creating new things. So continue to check back with us. I will be available for some live Q&A following this time together. So I'm encouraged to hear any questions you have or comments, or even anybody that's used our curriculum before to share maybe how they have used it and how it's worked for them. So again, thank you for tuning in. I pray that God blesses you as you seek to reach your disability community for Christ using an online platform. Thanks for tuning in.